Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.
One of the things that have actually affected the political system in Nigeria is godfatherism. Godfatherism has contributed in a way to the growth of corruption in governance. And this is one of the things that we want to talk about today on Review. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and joining me on today's review is Fred Ogbole, a political and public affairs analyst. Good morning, Fred.
Morning.
It's good to have you right here today.
It's good to be here.
You know what? Fortunately, we're going to be talking about godfatherism and looking at what is happening in Rivers State. And that you are looking like someone from Rivers State this morning. Let's begin from Rivers State. What do you think is the effect of godfatherism on Fubara so far, looking at the whole scenario since he came into office as a governor?
Okay, my take has always been the fact that a Nigerian political system is designed in such a way that we meddle politics and governance. Politics is a process that brings you to office. Governance is what you will do while in office. So it means that the moment you enter into office, the processes that brings you, you're supposed to completely leave them aside and focus on delivery, focus on capacity building, focus on doing the efficient governance that is required of you as a governor. But so far, if you put Fubara and Wike side by side and you're doing comparison like a football, right? You're comparing Madrid and Barca and you compare Fubara and Wike. So far, Wike has been doing better than him because the residents of Abuja are singing praises of him, of what he has done so far with the short time in office. Can we say the same thing with Fubara? Fubara has been heavily distracted with the whole Wike saga, and every time he come on news, he have not been able to tell us what he has been able to achieve or what he has been able to do. He has always been complaining how he don't want to bend for any godfather. He want to stand on his ground. They're always raising agitations and okay. Look at the recent event from what happened. Seraki Disin came to visit him, and the punchline is still about Wike.
Become, you just talked about Wike, okay, in Abuja and Fubara in Rivers State. But don't you think the distraction is huge enough, okay? You know, because he's been very stable. You know what is happening right from the State House of Assembly, coming to FCT from Wike. Don't you think the hit on Fubara, the godfatherism hit on Fubara, is big enough to distract him from governance in Rivers State?
Godfatherism has eaten so deep in the Nigerian political system that we can't solve in a day. It will take some level of intentionality by the young ones to completely take out of the system. But while you are working on that, ensure you are not distracted from doing your real job. That's what I'm saying about Fubara. Ensure that you are delivering on your job so that we know that, yes, this is what you have been able to achieve in your system. Because godfatherism is even the reason for the first place for an outgoing governor to install a new governor, because Fubara was installed.
All right, let's look at the whole political system of Nigeria. Just like you said, well, instead of the people bringing in who they want, some persons gathered together and said they are cabals and they are godfathers, and they install people against the will of the Nigerian people. Do you see that played out in any part of the 2023 election that brought in this administration?
2023 elections was one of the greatest elections ever held in the Nigerian democratic system since 1999. Why do I say that? It's simply because it was one of the elections that Nigeria largely expressed themselves to a certain level. Anybody that won that election won it because the person worked it and the person worked for it. The times where, as at 2003 election, we would just sit down home and they will announce in radio, oh, President Olusegun Obasanjo has won. There was not so much agitation like there was in 2023 election, because the people were rallying around massively behind candidates like Peter Obi. People were rallying around massively behind Atiku. People were rallying around behind Tinubu, and it was purely a contest of who can pull the numbers. And the whole calculation around I had said before 2023 election that the calculation APC did for them worked because they went for the numbers. They didn't go for equity and justice. It was as simple as that. They choose their vice presidential candidate simply because of the vote APC has pulled in the previous election. APC has pulled almost 900,000 in the previous election, and they had to bring him in because they want to win that region, not minding what will become the outcome. And they did all of that to ensure that.
So there was no godfatherism game playing out in any part of that election. Is that what you're trying to say?
When it comes to this past election, a lot of godfatherism played out. And one thing you will note is our sitting president is an elder statesman. I like to use that word because he is part of the system. So the godfatherism effect on his system might be lesser compared to when you have a younger person.
Okay, but as it is right now, okay, we're trying to round up. What do you think is the effect of this godfatherism in Nigeria as it has to do with governance and this administration?
The effect is simply the fact that the fathers need to take their hand off the government. Simply because what happened in Senegal, for instance, cannot happen in Nigeria. What's happening in other African countries cannot happen in Nigeria because the system has been designed in such a way that it takes youth out automatically. So if you are not from recommendation from any of the godfather or you are not held by hand, it is almost impossible for you to even become a candidate on a ballot. Where will a young man of 30 years raise 100 million to buy a form in APC? Where will a young man of 30 years be able to raise the kind of money that you will pay to, what do they call these guys that represent different states? Oh, I've forgotten their name. Agents.
Okay, party agents.
Party agents. Because these people, they now most corrupt people. Because it's more like they are buying them for them to even vote for people that will represent their party.
Do you see that? Did anything like that played out in the 2023
A
election?
A lot. If you look at APC primaries, down to the day of the APC primaries, the first thing that happens was I discovered that candidates were even bought before even agents, because the first thing candidates did were coming on stage to announce that
they are stepping down.
Why? If you originally bought the form, why are you stepping down at your first statement? Everybody was stepping down one after the other, like a planned work. And when they were done, agents started voting. So you could see originally from their demeanor, you don't literally need anybody to tell you that they are bought. Because any man in his full expression will come out and agitate to certain level before you accept to lose.
Any man, before you lose or before you step down, you must agitate to a certain level before you can actually step down. But that is not playing out in our own political system, taking a cue from the 2023 presidential election down to the council level. All right, this is going to be the size of the review for today. It's been a very wonderful time having Fred Ugbole on review today. Thanks for coming, Fred. We hope to have you some other time again. And the viewers out there, this is what Nigerians are facing as it has to do with godfatherism. This is high time we say no to godfatherism and let the vote of Nigerians count so that corruption can be minimized from the top down to the bottom. My name is Ramsey Enoch, and thank you for keeping a date with us today on Review.
Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleke TV. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleke TV, rising star at the fairground.